Well, hello there, my Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Twin Flame read for January 2020. Happy New Year. As well as it is timeless, as I'm finding most of my reads, and most reads on YouTube are, right? They just pop up anytime, and you watch it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I am your reader for the moment, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and very, very happy to be serving you today. You are the last of this zodiacal series. I started with Pisces, I end with Aries for this next series that I do. It'll probably be the What Do I Need reads for the full moon to new moon. I'll be starting with you guys, Aries, and making my way through Pisces. Cool, cool. If you are new to my channel, please do like and subscribe. I'm making my way to 1,000 subscribers so I can do super live chat. You know, you set your goals and you go for them. And my promise to my subscribers is that once a month or so, I will do something called Drunk Tarot on Super Live Chat. There is a video in my recent, I did it a couple of weeks ago, I think, a month ago, December, right? Everything's different now. In the new decade, got to reconfigure, change all the numbers. So go have a look at that, and just like and subscribe because I'm good and I'm fun. All right, cool, cool. A couple of things before we dive into this reading. This is a collective read of my Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, which is why I do Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, so that you can check your other signs. Not every reading is going to resonate with everybody, even if you get 25% of the information from one reading. That's huge. It's better than not having no clue whatsoever, which we usually don't, particularly in soul contracts in general. So just saying, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, check your other signs. There are a couple of videos in the description box I do recommend you watch if you have not yet. One is from a spiritual teacher by the name of KAHN. Brilliant Hay House author, but his YouTube channel has been around for decades, so please go check out his channel for sure. KAHN, K-H-N. All for love. And he did this video called Soul Contracts, Twin Flames, Soulmates, Redefined. Please go check that out. That was a bit of a head turner for me a year or so back, more than that at this point, to the point where it really changed my whole approach towards soul contracts in my life in general. Particularly the difference between soulmate and twin flame. A soulmate contract, which is what everybody is really wanting, the bottom line of the contract is you help each other heal. You love each other and you help each other heal, but can be in any form, not just the romantic sexual. A twin flame contract, kind of very different, very, very different. Bottom line of the contract is you teach each other how to heal yourselves, which means by contract you can't give each other what each of you want, right? You can only give each other what you need, which is often not so pretty, can be very tumultuous, can be very turbulent, can be very tricky and very transformative, but they're really important, the twin flame. You can call them your teachers. KAHN in the video says all of your exes essentially are twin flames, and you look back and you go, oh yeah, I learned, right? And then you get, oh, I don't just have one. And I know that flies in the face of the vernacular of both of those terms, twin flame and soulmate, for, you know, decades. But I think we needed an upgrade, and this one makes a hell of a lot of sense. So that's what these readings are based on. They're contract readings. We're going to look at the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, whatever twin flame contract they are in, whether it is romantic, sexual, or otherwise. You with me? Cool, cool. We are going to be doing divine feminine, divine masculine, just as a way of differentiating two different partners in a contract. Two different parties, I guess, is the legal term for that. So we're not talking about physical body, gender, divine masculine, divine feminine. We're really talking more yin yang, as they would say in the Eastern philosophies. I myself do consider myself a divine feminine, though my divine masculine energy is here. Otherwise, I would not be like working on YouTube. I am Leo, rising, Mars conjunct. So, you know, we're all fluid. We all have a shifting balance of the divine masculine, divine feminine within us. So, you know, while you're going through the reading, you'll probably feel out which one you are, you know, how it feels in your body, divine masculine or divine feminine. But because it is a twin flame reading with twins, there can be a lot of mirroring. So just take whatever information resonates. Cool, cool. What else? Is that it? Please remember to breathe. That is very, very important as we do these readings, because you're going to be looking at what you need to heal in this relationship that the other one cannot help you heal, right? They may give you everything necessary to instigate you to heal. So remember to breathe. That as you're going to breathe anyway. So if you make it sort of like a way of being in the present moment, like if something triggers you, breathe. If something excites you, breathe. If something hits you, breathe, right? Because it's going to keep you in the present moment so you can really be here now with me while I'm doing the reading. And as I'm doing the same thing more and more and more with every reading I do, reminding myself to breathe, I'm tuning to the grace, the guidance, the chi, the prana, the source, the reiki, the energy, whatever you want to call it, from the divine in the present moment, translating that clairvoyantly, empathically, right? And verbally, right? So that you can get the information. So if you're doing the same thing with the breath that I am, we're both tuning to the same guidance, grace, chi, prana. You got it? Cool, cool. So please have a nice deep breath. And let's get down to work, said the Virgo to the Aries. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, one card to represent the divine feminine in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract, January 2020, though timeless. While I'm here, please, one card for the divine masculine in this Aries Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract, January 2020, though timeless. Okay, we've got our divine feminine and our divine masculine. We always do ladies first. I've also got my Wonder Coffee, don't worry. We're all in this together. So let's see who we're dealing with. Okay, wow, we've got the orphan child and the hermit. Actually, not a bad pair, considering they both do seclusion. The hermit easier, I'm sure, more than the orphan child. So already here it almost looks like we have sort of like a parent-child dynamic, but keep in mind that everyone has the child archetype in one form or another. The orphan child is, you could say, a sub-archetype or a sub-pattern within the child archetype. So let's have a look at these. I'm going to read the divine feminine first. These cards delineate, like in thumbnail sketches, the shadow and the light, the lead and the gold, the unhealthy and the healthy. And in both of these, this is what this twin flame, then, this contract is supposed to be teaching you how to heal within yourself. Now, I'm very familiar with both of these archetypes, so let's dive in with the divine feminine, orphan child. The shadow attribute. Feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation. Seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Ding, 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 ding. I mean, I was never literally orphaned. But I was neglected and abandoned a lot in my life, particularly as a child. I'm the gay child of the family. I was born in 1968. Do the math. Oh, the LGBT alliances didn't come until decades later. So always sort of the odd man out, the freak of the family. But you get the shadow side of that, how incredibly powerful, and what better than a twin flame relationship to teach you how to love the part of you that has been abandoned, right? I love the one who has been abandoned. Whenever a child archetype shows up, absolute magnificent time for the loving of the child in your heart. And I'm just going to say it because I've been saying it for about a year or so now. Thank you, KAHN, for the insight. That if you look at the heart chakra as your inner child, you're there. Just talk to your heart, to the child of your heart chakra child, inner child, call it what you will. Now again, the child archetype is one of the 4 survival family archetypes that everybody has. The child, the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute. At least the child you can understand, because no one's born an adult, right? No matter how Capricorn a person may be. They say Capricorns are born old and grow young. Still have to go through preschool, right? We were all kids. It's how we all learned survival, right? The child, the victim, victor, victory, right? The empowerer, saboteur, and the prostitute, how we negotiate our faith and belief in ourselves for comfort. So the light attribute, which is amazing, and I love the light attribute of the orphan, having the orphan archetype. Independence based on learning to go it alone. conquering the fear of surviving, right? Like, how am I going to do it? I have to, and you learn, right? That's how you learn how to survive, but you also do not need tribal dictate. Like, for instance, I didn't really ask my family if it was okay if I was gay. I'm just gay. Right? I just came out 1984 of all years to do it, very George Orwell. Graduated high school in '86, again, do the math. But also, like, I didn't need permission to be a witch. I just started studying witchcraft, right? Scott Cunningham, Earth Power, right? Started reading tarot. I had to beg my mom to buy me the cards, but I started that at age 12, right? So I never really needed to check with the football team or the cheerleaders or the cool kids with whatever it is that I was going to do, because I was sort of divorced from the tribe, not just my genetic one, so to speak, but so I was able to go my own spiritual path. So for a divine feminine, you could say I'm a divine feminine orphan child, I'm just not an Aries, right? That this is a really, really powerful archetype for soul development, because all of our fictional heroes are orphans. Dorothy Gale, Harry Potter, Bruce Wayne, Kal-El of Krypton. I could go on and on and on. How many orphans, right? Not to mention with Disney. There's the orphan makers. Disney for decades, right? So now you pair that with the Hermit. Now I love the Hermit archetype. I call myself the Hermit of Holbrook. Holbrook is the town I live in on Long Island, the mountainous regions of Long Island. The shadow attribute of the Hermit withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. Now, I don't have that much of it, but when I read the gold, you'll feel that. Because chances are, if you're on a spiritual path, you're more doing it for the light than the shadow. Although, hey, we all need to get away. By the way, the Hermit is not imprisoned, is not sent away. That's an exile, right? I don't know if there's an exile archetype. There probably is. I guess any archetype can be exiled. But the Hermit goes willingly, right? So in the shadow, withdraws out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need, right? The light attribute seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. So that's like how I recharge myself. I shut off the phone, I shut off social media. You know, I'll just go into prayer for a couple of days. I have to, just to be able to take the number of clients, right? And now I'm teaching again outside of the house, not just on, I have a Facebook group called Markangela Lyons Mal for short, which is a lot of fun. I just did an inner child thing last night, as a matter of fact, like a 40-minute, we called it an inner child chat. So, you know, like I need that time. Like today, I did the Taurus video earlier today, but then I needed to like really take a break, pull back, unplug, recharge myself. The thing with the Hermit, though, it really is about to focus intently on inner life and to rebuild your creative energy. So it feels like these two people, if this is romantic sexual, they're not really connecting. They're not seeing each other. They're both sort of in their own separate worlds, which leads me to think that this has to be, I'm sure there are some romantic sexual twin flames that will get a lot out of this reading, because, you know, that lonely, the child archetype is lonely, the victim archetype is so alone, I'm so alone, where the Hermit is solitary, right? It's a very, very different vibe. And that certainly that lonely can play itself into romantic sexual, but also parental child, right? Sibling, friends, all sorts of different energy dynamics. So try and keep your mind open, because rarely do you orphan in just one type of relationship. Divine feminine, and nor does a hermit just, you know, hermit from one person, right? They tend to hermit all together. So what we're going to do to clarify these, we're going to take 3 Daughters of the Moon Tarot. All the decks I read are in the description box at the very bottom. I usually say that before I lay the cards down. I apologize. I try and give credit where credit is due. We're going to do a past, present, future timeline, 3 cards with Daughters of the Moon for the Divine Feminine. We are going to do the same, past, present, future with the Mythic Tarot for the Divine Masculine. Cool, cool. Just to give you a little timeline, this should really help you click in, because if you're resonating with both, orphan child, divine female, and hermit, divine masculine, I shouldn't say male, female, I should say feminine, masculine, then this will help give a little more. And remember, it's totally cool to resonate with both. Nice deep breath. You keep breathing, I'll keep reading. Oh, my goddesses. The voice of the divine feminine in total. behalf of the universal energy. Please, voice of the goddesses. 3 cards, past, present, future. First, 1 card for this divine feminine orphan archetype in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract. Where has she been in this twin flame contract? Please, a card of the past for her. Face down. We're doing all of these face down. Please, where is she now in this twin flame contract? Face down. That would be our present card. And where is she headed? Understanding that this card can change, right? It's in the future. We have some abilities to shift. The best part of getting a reading is if there is something foretold, you can, unless it's really scripted, written, into the divine plan, usually there's some wiggle room of how we want to at least deal with it, or if we want to shift timelines altogether. So really shuffling this. Please, my goddesses, 1 card for this divine feminine. Where is she headed in this twin flame contract? Okay, while we're here, we're going to do the divine masculine so that the timelines are laid out. Cool, cool. Nice deep breath. What we did with the voice of the goddesses, we now do with the voice of the gods. Please, my gods. 3 cards, past, present, future. The first for this divine masculine hermit archetype in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for January 2020 and timeless. Please, 1 card. Where has he been in this twin flame contract? Where is he now? The present in this twin flame contract. 1 popped right into my hand. And please, where is this divine masculine headed in this twin flame contract arena? We've got all 6 of our cards down, 2 separate timelines. Let's start with the divine feminine orphan child. Well, where is she coming from? Where has she been? The death card, the phoenix, either going to or rising from the ashes. Usually I get with this card, and it feels this. It's like she's already been through it. Like she's already been through hell. She's already risen from the ashes. Now, the hell is usually associated with the card of the devil, which is different in this deck. We'll see if it pops up because it's a feminist deck. It doesn't really deal with patriarchal religious symbolism that way. Obviously more matriarchal. But this in particular, like rising from one's own ashes, no longer who you used to be. Remember, death is not physical death in the tarot. It's halfway through. It's usually card number 13 rather than, 20 or 21, depending on which tarot deck you are dealing with. So it's not the end. It's the end of a self. It's the burning of an identity. It's something that no longer serves, falling to ashes. The maiden must die for the mother to be born. The mother must die for the crone to be born. You sort of get the idea. Transformational stages. Where is she now? Well, appraisal, right? She may very well be looking back at those ashes. Appraisal is all about assigning values. Looking back at who she was. It's maybe this could be appraising what lay ahead, but maybe in this moment she is in appraisal of this relationship, this contract, considering what she has been through. Now, considering the orphan child with its abandonment issues might absolutely be looking at, am I going to get left again? Am I going to get ditched? Am I going to open up my heart and all of my childlike innocence and my love and my new beginnings and seeing all of this with fresh eyes only to be burnt, neglected, lied, deceived, what have you, again? And that is a tricky, not analysis, that's gathering information, and appraisal, because the voice of fear can tell you, yes, that's always going to happen over and over and over and over again, which is the shadow power of the orphan that repeats itself. But can she appraise it as a way of, okay, since I've already been through some spiritual transformation, or maybe even personality transformation, can I appraise this? Can I get, regardless of what's going on in this relationship, can I extract from it the value for my own healing? Hence a twin flame contract, see? Once you know you're in a twin flamer, then it sort of spins the table, not just turns them. So it's like, oh, so this is what I'm here to do, and this is what I'm here to learn. Not that you can speed your way through it, sometimes you can, but that you're able to make wiser, more loving, more powerful decisions, love, wisdom, power for yourself and for your healing, which generally does not do harm to others, generally. Although sometimes you got to walk away from people. It's just how it is. Abuse, neglect, you're done. Like any kind of abuse, any kind of neglect, that really, toxicity, sometimes you just have to walk away. But if someone's beating you, someone's verbally abusing you, someone's like really neglecting you, like starving you, walk away. You're not doing that child of your heart any good by sticking around hoping that things will change. You be the change. Where are you headed? Divine Feminine towards a Divine Masculine, perhaps your own Divine Masculine energy. This is the card of the Emperor. Pan, like I said, it's a feminist deck. So the Divine Masculine energy here is seen as a healthy, balanced, grounded God energy. God, the great God Pan, the divine masculine face of nature. Usually associated with goats, we got them on there, but also with like a happy little playful child, like a happy inner child, divine masculine there. One that is willing to take action, but action in balance with nature, action in balance with intuition. So such a lovely, lovely, lovely card, and I love Pan. I don't know if you can see it with the repositioning. There he is. Can you see up there? There's Pan. I got a little Pan statue there. Horny little goat god. Love him so much, though I don't camp that much anymore. Well, I camp, but, you know, not in the woods. Little gay joke there for you. Very interesting Divine Feminine. By the way, 2 major arcana cards, the Death card and the Emperor. Let's look at the Divine Masculine. Where has he been in this twin flame? Well, Ace of Wands, which for a hermit is really getting that new burst of creativity, that new burst of will, desire, fire. This is Zeus, portrayed, daddy, portrayed for the Divine Masculine here in the past here. The Ace of Wands, that initiation, a new burst of creation. For me, I often experience the Ace of Wands as an inspiration. It's like, oh, I want that, I want to do that, oh, what a great idea, but it starts off as fire and then cools down and becomes air. So first, and then it becomes an idea. You can almost track it down through the chakras as you see it, and then you choose it, and you chew on it, and then you feel it, and then chakra by chakra, you bring it into manifestation, keeping in mind the hermit's personal creativity. So definitely the impetus, the initiation, the initiatory energy of creativity of some kind. So feels like in the beginning of this, where he was in this relationship, like, oh, this is cool, let's see what happens. Where is he now? Well, interesting. This is the Aquarian card, the Queen of Swords, which does speak to me a bit of the Hermit in this sense. Aquarians are fixed air. So think like air that doesn't move, like the stratosphere. Aquarians can be distant by nature, but if you only see them as pulling back, being distant, they do tend to keep people as friends, which is lovely, but like the internet, like the cloud, there's something stratospheric about Aquarians, right? So not just pulled back, but pulled up so that they can see the larger picture. That's why they're brilliant humanitarians, and that really makes sense with this Hermit card, these two together. Seeing things from a higher perspective is indicated here, and that's just written all over this card. So this Divine Masculine in his hermitage isn't just sitting there doing nothing, that there is a contemplation, that there is a meditation, even if it's not the Eastern, Western variety, but that thing of taking time out to recharge the batteries and to see things from a higher place willingly. It's always willingly. So this hermit archetype doesn't feel so much like the shadow, so much as it feels like, okay, let me take there's some self-care I'm feeling in this too. But it's like mental self-care. It's like, I really need to see this differently. Like I'm willing to see clearly no matter what this is. Like no matter what the outcome, I'm willing to see things clearly. Where is he headed then? Well, the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is definitely a card of mental conflict, right? Often within the own mind. See, I'm not feeling like a huge connection between these two people. And by the way, we all have more archetypes than just what comes up in a reading, right? We have like hundreds of them. And a lot of them try and come up to bat every day. Yes, we have some that are primary, that are in our lives every single day, but then we have other ones that come and go, right? So this hermit and this orphan child, it feels like they are in separation right now, by necessity almost, probably by divine design as well, part of the divine plan, so that they can really work things out, because while she right now is in appraisal, he is in this Queen of Swords Aquarian moment, sort of pulling back and seeing things from a higher place. But from that place, he goes into the Five of Swords, which is certainly a card of, at least the nicest way you can say it, mental change, right? Fives are the number of change, but often feel like chaotic change, which you have to remember, chaos is divine order in disguise. Study fractals. Okay. And the quantum. And the ancient Vedics. And... and chaos magic. It's all the same fucking thing. Isn't that the message of the quantum? It's all the same fucking thing. All right. So good. We've got our timelines down. We've got 5 more cards to lay down to give you some more healing info here. It's sort of like we've got the who, the what, and something of a when with a timeline. Now we are going to use the new deck, and this has been such a joy to use in these Twin Flame reads. I don't know if I'm going to use them for every single reading I do from here on in, sort of like I do the Whispers of Love, which is, you know, another new deck that I got this past year. But I love this. Like, I use this so much in my own personal life, right? One for the day, and then if something else really pops up out of nowhere, I'll go grab one for myself. Now, the way this works, there's even a little booklet. This is the Healing Mantra deck by KAHN. Again, I adore him. I've never met him. I'm not getting any money from him. You know, it's not a kickback situation. Hay House author. He's just really, really cool. Younger than me, from the West Coast. I love his work, and I love this deck. On one side of a card is the name of the mantra, so you can look it up in the book. And then on the other side is the mantra itself. Keeping in mind, mantras and affirmations are not the same thing. Some people are saying they are the same thing, but no, if you've ever chanted Sanskrit, it's not the same. When you have a mantra like Nam Myoho Renge Kyo or Om Namah Shivaya, or I've got from that Deepak Chopra 21-day meditation challenges, man. I wrote down every single one. I had them on flashcards. Like, I'm an eclectic witch. I'm a mystic. Let's give it a shot. Let's run up the flagpole, see if I salute, right? So it doesn't matter whether you're the divine masculine or the divine feminine. These 2 mantra cards, 1 for each, will help whoever is watching this. So if you are the divine feminine, whatever you get, that healing mantra is going to help you heal you. But whatever the divine masculine gets, it's going to help you heal whatever you got going on with the divine masculine. All about learning how to heal yourself, which keeps straight in alignment with the Twin Flame contract. Cool, cool. Now remember, this does not necessarily feel romantic sexual. Like there's nothing here. And that's why we're going to end with those 3 Whisper of Love oracles, which have like the romance cards in it. Cool, cool. Nice deep breath. Voices of the Masters, the Ascended Masters. Here we go. Oh, my Ascended Masters, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here with us, please. 1 card in clarity for this divine feminine orphan child in this Aries collective. Oh yeah, the child is, Aries is the child of the zodiac. Thank you so very much. I mean, I knew that. Like, oh, they're so good. Yes, Aries is the sign of the child, the first sign of the zodiac. Thank you. So please, 1 card for this divine feminine orphan child archetype in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract, January 2020. Yet timeless. Please, 1 for the divine feminine, a healing mantra to help her heal. Same thing for the divine masculine hermit archetype in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract for January 2020, though timeless. Please, a healing mantra for this divine masculine hermit. Let's have a look and see what we got. Ooh, okay. Well, for the divine feminine, we've got soothing impatience. Yeah, I can see her coming out of death phase and going, all right, what time is it? Really, what the hell is going on here? And then really wanting to step into her divine masculine to make shit happen, right? Take action. And for the divine masculine, we've got grounding my energy, which is very, very, very interesting. We're going to start with the divine feminine, and we're going to read from the little booklet. But really to feel this one, soothing impatience, there is nothing to do but wait. Right? What do you mean there's nothing to do? That's what an Aries wants to hear. Oh, there's nothing to do but wait. Didn't you just hate waiting for me to finish sipping that, right? There's nothing to do but wait. See, this is Like, is that an affirmation, or is that like a statement of truth that your soul knows, hey, look, just like a little kid who wants to drive. Every kid wants his freedom, right? I'm talking like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. You're not allowed to drive yet. You're not allowed to drive yet. You're not allowed to live out on your own. You're 10 years old, right? You just, there is nothing to do but wait. But what do you do in the quality? What's the quality of your waiting, right? So let's have a look at that one in the book, Soothing Impatience. Oh, I just went right by it. Okay. Soothing Impatience, there is nothing to do but wait. Breathe. When impatience is soothed, each perceivable barrier becomes an opportunity to be more aligned with your soul by slowing down. Such a wise thing in this world that is moving so fast. In the soothing of impatience, you no longer see moments of pause or delay as conspiring against you. Instead, you realize they are giving you time for inner reflection. Very interesting, the hermit, inner reflection, where life's deepest meaning can be uncovered, even in the most ordinary of circumstances. And it feels like where she is right now in that appraisal, she might very well, what is the meaning of all of this, right? School marm. So this mantra is ideal for becoming more grounded, which is interesting considering the grounding of energy here. This is very twin flamey in terms of the correspondences ping-ponging back and forth. Easing frustrations, twin flame, and releasing blame, twin flame, right? You're the reason I feel this way. No. It's never you make me feel. It's I feel this way when you ... That's the healthier psychological language. So for the divine feminine here, soothing impatience, there's nothing to do but wait. You cannot plant an acorn on Monday and get an oak tree by Tuesday. It takes years, but once it not just takes root but grows, it will produce billions of acorns. One acorn will produce billions of acorns over its lifetime, depending on how long, right? So, and with that card of appraisal, it does make sense. There's that sense of like waiting. So soothing impatience, there is nothing to do but wait. For the divine masculine here, this is so perfect for the hermit archetype. It is safe to be in my body. Grounding my energy, it is safe to be in my body. Now, that's a daily mantra. No shit, right? Which one is grounding my energy? That's an all day, every day. Grounding my energy. Grounding my energy, it is safe to be in my body. When your energy is grounded, you are no longer wrestling, like wrestling, arm wrestling, like wrestling with the pain of the past or chasing after future outcomes. Let me read that again. When your energy is grounded, you are no longer wrestling with the pain of the past or chasing after future outcomes. You dare to demonstrate your very best attributes and qualities, no matter how you are perceived or received by others. With your energy grounded, your mind can relax as your body becomes a more enjoyable environment to inhabit. Get that? So the soul inhabits the body, but as the soul is comfortable in the body, it enlivens the body because the soul is the life force, right? This mantra is ideal for replacing compulsive thoughts, right? Because when you're fully in the body, the mind is not as wacky, kooky, crazy, running all over the place. Releasing addictive behavior, so we're seeing compulsive and addiction here represented, and finding stability, right? All three things that hermits certainly, that's in their milieu, if we will. Oh, I just used such a pretty word, milieu. Milieu. Mil us. 3 more cards and we are done, and I'll do an overview for you. You know I like doing that at the end. I pop up the picture, or if you're new, I do it, not for every reading I do, but for the ones where there are more complicated spreads I do. So what we're going to do is get one for the divine feminine, one for the divine masculine, and one final third for the contract itself. So keep this in mind as we breathe. This is the voice of the higher selves, right? The 5th dimensional and above selves of everyone involved in this contract. So take a nice deep breath. Align with your own higher self. Let's do another breath on that one. The deeper the exhale, the deeper the inhale and the deeper the alignment. Please, the higher selves of all involved. One card for the divine feminine orphan child here in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for January 2020, yet timeless. Please, one card for the divine feminine. Not going to look, doing it face down. Please, same thing for the divine feminine, divine masculine hermit archetype in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for January 2020, though timeless. The divine masculine hermit, please. And one, please, for the overall contract in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flamer. There we go. All right. Oracle, Whisper of Love, here we go. For the divine feminine, you are limitless. This has come up more than any other card in this round, for this round of zodiacal twin flame reads. You are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do, and I feel like that's what she's going to find in her appraisal. Right? By there's nothing to do but wait, right? She's going to hang out. She's going to be like, you know what? I can fucking do anything. I can even wait if I want to, because boy, is she going to make some choices, right? You can do anything you choose to do. Well, it feels like she's appraising her choices, right? What are the most valuable choices? What are the choices that resonate with her soul choices, her soul's higher wisdom in reality, right? Not just the needs of the personality. Yes, of course, take care of your body. Take care, make sure you're hydrated, rested, eating well, all that stuff. But what are the desires of the soul? Because you are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do. Great, big, huge deal. For the divine masculine, who do we got here? Act as if your partner is here. Whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you, so you will always consider them. Now, ordinarily, I would say that's like a romance flag on that one, but not necessarily so. These two do feel separated. It may not be true in every single person, every single situation, every story for everybody who's watching this, but it does feel this way, particularly act as if your partner is here, that it's a hermit, right? They're hermiting, but if you're the divine masculine here and you can sort of act as if they're there, then you can actually talk from your heart to them and say the things that you're not ready to say face to face, right? Not as a rehearsal, but as a way of feeling those emotions and becoming more familiar and more comfortable with what is rising up from within you. Now, we have to love everything that rises inside of us sooner or later, right? Otherwise, it keeps repeating. The tears, the joy, everything in between, right? So there's something here, whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you, so you will always consider them, which means involve them in your energetic healing process in a twin flame. You're actually sort of, and I'm using this word lightly, using the other person to heal yourself by allowing, when you think of them, what rises up in you. They're triggering you. But it's hardly ever really about them. Do you understand what I'm saying? They may step on your hidden landmine, but it's your hidden landmine. So consider them while you are in this hermit phase, grounding your energy. Makes and learning how to feel safe in your own body, right? To feel what it is you're feeling, right? Divine masculines are usually air and fire, right? So get them into water and earth. It can be a little tricky for them, and vice versa, right? All right. So for the overall, and I'm not talking men and women. I'm talking masculine dynamic, feminine dynamic. So the overall here for the contract itself, express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. Now look, let's be clear. Just because a contract is twin flame doesn't mean there isn't love there. It's just like, what if it's a family member? All right. Like I said, my mom, I've said this in I think every other video except this one. My mom and I are very much soulmates. We help each other heal. We always have. She's still alive. We talk pretty much every day. When one of us are feeling a little off, we reach out to each other. We do the sense of humor thing. But if we're overly emotional, we just text, right? So we even have that like healthy boundary. She doesn't need to hear her youngest cry, right? And I do. I'm a Pisces moon. I'm a fucking waterworks, right? Big old cry baby. Yeah. Better out than in, right? Better that than repressed. But with my dad, it was such a twin flame. He has crossed over. He died the summer between high school and college for me. And he was crazy. I love my dad, but he was crazy. Truly a twin flame in that I could never be the son he wanted. I was never going to be a heterosexual Republican Catholic. Was not going to happen. If anything, I am a homosexual liberal witch. Whoa, ding, 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 ding. Red flag for dad. And he was just never going to be the solid, stable man that I wanted. He was a Gemini. What are you going to do, right? Incarnate with a Gemini dad. Great fun. But I love him. It doesn't mean there wasn't love. We loved each other, but we could never really get each other. So our relationship was always turbulent. It just was, and tumultuous. So bless his heart, much better now that we can talk, right? So expressing love through gifts, giving a small token to someone expresses your love for them. What if this is family? What if this is parent-child for some of you? Really, I'm feeling for some of you, you might be able to holographically place this over different patterns of different people, different relationships in your life, and see this in a couple of different places. And you know, whether you are the divine feminine or the divine masculine here, there is this thing of expressing love through gifts, even if that is a gift of prayer, even if that is a gift of good thoughts, even if that is a gift of I am going to heal myself so that when I come towards you, I will, or we're in the same room, we're in the same presence with each other, I will be able to be more kind, more compassionate, but for my healing. Do you feel? Yes, it's selfish, but then it becomes a gift. When that sort of self-compassion, right, because both of them, like I said, particularly if you're going to do the orphan child work, letting that child cry so that it can feel more connected with people. It's expressing love through the gifts, perhaps the gifts you give yourself, and then it just sort of, you know what I mean? Like, do you ever have one of those days where everything goes your way? Right? Not the day of your greatest spiritual growth, by the way, I will say. But you know, and it's just like green light everywhere you go, and you go to Starbucks and they like give you one. It's like, oh, here's your drink, and no, it's on the house. You're like, wow, like that, right? Like a day of gifts like that. Well, then you know you sort of bless everyone and everywhere you go without even trying, right? So express love through those gifts, even if they are your spiritual gifts, which increase the more you give them away. How's that for paradox? How's this for paradox? Let's give you an overview. It's not a paradox at all. Magic clap. We start with the divine feminine, orphan child, the shadow attribute. Feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. And that stifling of maturation does feel like that she has grown up, particularly with the death card at the beginning of the timeline and the emperor at the end, particularly in terms of developing her own ability to, and in process of the ability to develop her own skills at getting things for herself, which is in the light attribute. Independence based on learning to go it alone, right? Conquering the fear of surviving. Good for her. It does feel like with that emperor in the future that she's headed there. But we look at the past, the death card, the phoenix, rising from the ashes. Then we go to the Seven of Pentacles appraisal, the work having been done, taking a pause, right? Perhaps waiting. There's nothing to do but wait, looking at that soothing impatience card right next to her. And then, of course, moving into that card of Pan. So it might take a while for her to be able to actualize this stuff, but there is an appraisal, a value of self, a value of that time, perhaps abandoned, neglected, left out, so that she can find true strength and really her own masculine energy presenting itself in a way that is what? You are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do. Really, really lovely. A lovely set. Those cards really mesh well together for the divine feminine. For the divine masculine, the shadow attribute withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. Now, I'm not seeing that anywhere, the shadow that kind of way, particularly not helping others in this spread for this divine masculine, but I get the withdrawing from society, right? Definitely that's in there, but in the light attribute, seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. And with that Ace of Wands at the beginning of the timeline of the past, we are seeing personal creativity, but only an ace. It may not have taken form and shape, but then, you know, like in terms of the inspiration, what do I want to do with it? To me, that's more the Two of Wands, right? Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, Ace of Flames, Two of Flames. Then we go to the Queen of Swords, that pulling back, right? You know, that Aquarian, seeing it from the celestial, pulling back to see the largest picture, may not be able to focus so much on detail. So if this person has any Aquarian planets, so to speak, they really are being very true to themselves in pulling back and trying to see the larger picture. But it brings them to the Five of Swords, which is mental conflict, right? Or at least mental change, a change of mind, where what they see in that larger picture challenges them, perhaps challenging their desire to be in solitude and rather having to reach out. And so what is the mantra, right? It is safe to be in my body, grounding my energy. So it might be like, but it's nice and safe here on my own. I don't know that I want to get involved with anybody, even if this is family. But if they're really seeing things from the larger perspective, then they're probably seeing the huge opportunity for self-healing going on here. And it's so interesting that the Oracle card act as if your partner is here. Whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you, so you will always consider them. And like I said, it's not a bad exercise to, some will call it telepathic, to telepathically communicate with somebody in that way when you are in hermit time, to at least get things off your chest, sort of like confession. And let's face it, when you pray, it's not that different, except you're usually dealing with a higher power rather than someone you think of as a partner, although we are all partnered with the divine because we are one with, just saying. And of course, the last card down for the contract itself, which applies to both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. Well, that can very much be through prayer, a spiritual gift. Forgive them. I forgive you. You know not what you do. I forgive you for renouncing the truth in yourself. I forgive you for not seeing the truth in me. I forgive you for being possessed by your pain, and I am so sorry that the pain that you are in is doing this to you and to people. You know, there's all sorts of ways to give spiritual gifts that way, but even if it comes down to it, now with the holidays over, if it even comes down with sending somebody a text message, just saying, you know, I've been thinking of you and wishing you the best, and when we talk again, let's really come together and who knows, be kind, right? Let's just chat, let's just hang out and see what happens. But then again, if this is a family thing, you really don't have much of a choice. You can either family, which the orphan child can do in a heartbeat, or really make some amends here by expressing love through small tokens. Cool. So there we have it, my Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. A very tricky, very psychological contract here. Definitely feels like these two are separated from each other in separation. It feels like they know each other, but honestly, I gotta say, this feels more family dynamic, like brother, sister, brother, sister, parent, child. It's gonna play itself out so many different ways. And if it's not literal family, then it could be like family of friend, twin flame contract, someone at work. But if this is romantic, sexual, this is a really tough one, because the issues that you're both dealing with both need to be addressed, and hence why this contract was created. And before and I'll give you the blessing before we're done, but let's keep in mind, these contracts were created and signed before you came in, so you agreed to them. It's like, I wanted this. Yes, you wanted this. You signed on the dotted line on this one because from the soul's perspective, the higher self's perspective, which granted are not exactly the same thing, depending on who you read, there is that place of, oh, this will be so good for me to play this role this time, like an actor playing a villain instead of a hero, or an ingenue instead of a monster, whatever it is, however that plays itself out. It's like, oh, that'll be so good for my chops, right? Your acting chops, but at an incarnational level. So may the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their twin flame contracts for January 2020 and beyond, that they may learn how to heal, learn how to grow, learn how to love themselves, respect themselves, take care of themselves, and care for themselves, to grow, to heal, to learn, and become the best that they can be for the well-being of all, and really to be a blessing upon all of life in the quantum. And so it is. Thank you so much, my Aries, and thank you for being the last reading, for hanging in there. You will be the first of the next series, most likely the What Do I Need reads for this full moon to new moon next. So thank you so much for watching. Yeah, right? That's where we are, full moon to new moon next, yeah. I got my new Llewellyn's Witches calendar. I'll go check before I do them. Cool. Thank you so much for watching. Love you so much. Go out there, give them hell. But for now, my Aries, my darlings, my rams, hail. Farewell and blessed be.